Hey YouTube, it's Irsyidekick, and today we're playing Team Deathmatch on Warhawk. This isn't a game that I thought was really superb, but I ended up finishing the game on a 15 kill streak, so hopefully you guys like the gameplay. And today what I want to talk about is irrational fears, because everybody definitely has at least one, or maybe even a few irrational fears, or even a fear that is rational, but people blow out into a irrational proportion. So today I want to talk about, one of my biggest fears, which to me I feel like is a rational fear, but it's a fear that kind of controls my life, so it's definitely something that I don't have the best control of, and it's kind of just blown out of proportion to me. So one of my biggest fears, and the fear that I want to talk about today, the fear that I feel like is an irrational fear for me due to the fact that it empowers me and it controls me, and it just changes the way that I do things, is claustrophobia. Now, claustrophobia is a fear that a lot of people have. It's a pretty common fear, and fortunately I don't have it as bad as some other people, or as bad as it could be, so I do feel pretty fortunate for that, but it does still control my life at least a little bit, and for that reason I feel like it's slightly irrational. Now, a lot of people probably would think that they don't have claustrophobia at all, but I kind of personally think that all humans have at least some degree of claustrophobia, because I kind of feel like it's built in our DNA to want to have freedom to move, and that if you restrict your movement, it would cause most people to have at least somewhat of a small portion of anxiety. I, however, feel that in the same situation as other people, my anxiety is slightly higher, if not a lot higher than other people's, so therefore, since I do not handle situations the same as other people, I feel my fear is slightly irrational. So, I don't talk about my job a lot, and I won't talk about my job a lot because of the line of work that I'm in and what I do, but all I will say is that I work in a jail. And so recently I've kind of figured out that claustrophobia and working at a jail don't really mix very well, since we lock people up and everything's locked and everything is small. And I guess I probably should have known that before I started working there, but I didn't really think it'd be that big of a problem, and that's kind of why I decided I wanted to do this commentaries, because it's been on my mind a lot, and I figured, this would be a good way to vent, kind of tell you guys what's up, and you guys can, let me know some of your problems, and we can have a good old session of community therapy on the internet. So for me, I think that my problem started around age 7 or 8, when I had this friend who wasn't really a friend, was actually more like a bully to me, that I hung out with, not really by choice, but more like by fear. I felt like if I didn't hang out with her, she would do bad things to me, so I hung out with her, like I said, not by choice, and she would love to do anything and everything to me that was funny to her and wasn't so funny to me. Now, some of these things were pretty harmless, like making me drink chocolate milk that was loaded with salt, or giving me apple juice that turned out to be beer and tasted really gross. And other things weren't so harmless, like actually trying to get me intoxicated at age 8, and even up to sexual abuse. Now, sexual abuse is not something that I really talk about. I didn't even tell my parents about it until I was probably 14 or 15, mostly because they asked me. They suspected maybe something had happened in my past. But I don't like to talk about it because I feel like people won't take child-on-child sexual abuse very seriously, so therefore I just don't tell people about it. But as you can see, it's not like someone that is just your average childhood bully. I really, really hated this girl, and I really just could not stand hanging out with her. So I felt like I lived like a living hell as a kid. I didn't have a good home life. My parents weren't really around. I didn't really feel like they cared about me. They were druggies, and I just didn't feel like they cared about me. And then the very few friends that I had weren't really friends and really just liked to abuse me, and I never could understand what I did to deserve the life that I was given. And so one of the things that she really liked to do was lock me in her bathroom. And I don't know if it was the idea of me being locked in her bathroom that I hated, or if it was the fact that I didn't want to be there in the first place, and now I'm literally stuck here. Like, I don't even have the choice to leave because she's locked me in the small room in her house with this person that I hate. So it was like a hell. Like, I can't leave this. So I think that that is where my claustrophobia stemmed from. So even as a kid, I can remember being scared of being in classrooms without teachers, and I didn't like being dunked in the pool because I just didn't trust anybody that was around my age. Like, adults were the only people that could keep me safe. I literally felt like someone might kill me or hurt me that was near my age. Like, I was so scared of all my classmates, and it sucked. But once I finally moved away, I thought, okay, you know what, this is gonna get better, I won't have this problem anymore. But actually, all those fears have still affected me today, even though I thought I got over them, and I didn't really realize that, no, I'm not over them until maybe I was about 14. When I was about 14, I was a teacher, kind of like a teacher's assistant at a kindergarten class, and we went outside, we, played some recess, and I had like about 5 or 6 kids like jump on me and pin me to the ground. And I can remember as a kid hating being pinned to the ground, like when other boys would like sit on me and stuff. It would freak me out. And yeah, I didn't think that I had a problem with that anymore, and these were like really little kids, and it bothered me. So I kind of was like, maybe I still do have this a little bit. But then after that, I really thought it was over. But now in today, where it kind of affects me so much to the point to what I can't do is like elevators. Like, elevators is a common thing that I think a lot of people wouldn't want to go into, even maybe people that aren't claustrophobic. But for me, it's not the fact that like I'm scared of getting stuck in one. That would suck, but I think I'm more afraid of getting assaulted in one. Like, I just feel like an elevator would be a great place to get assaulted. So whenever I go in one, I'm like always really aware of the people that are with me. There's like couple of us in here. One of these people could be like a murderer, and we're all in this little box with them. You see what I'm saying? But the biggest problem I guess I've noticed that really has made me want to get over this fear is the fact that like I can't ride roller coasters. I didn't even ride a roller coaster until I was probably about 19 anyways, because I don't really like trying new things, and I was always scared of them. Now, as a kid, I really did want to try riding a roller coaster, but when I finally got tall enough, I ended up feeling like, nope, I'm a little too scared to try this. Now, a couple of times my parents made me go on them, but I don't really agree with making your children do stuff that they don't want to do, because, yeah, sometimes they might end up liking it, but I think for the most part, if a kid is too scared to do something, they're going to be so focused on, I'm scared and I just want to get off this thing, that they're not actually going to enjoy the ride and then be like, oh yeah, thank you, I'm so glad you forced me to do something I didn't want to do, and now I really like it. Yeah, it might happen, but for me, it didn't. I was too scared, and I was like, no, I didn't like it, so, yeah. But now I do want to try roller coasters, and I would really like to travel all over the United States and go to some really cool parks, but I just don't like the feeling of the restraint. Like, the seats are small and the restraints are tight, and it just freaks me out. And I always like think, okay, what if I needed to get off this? Like, it could be something like, oh, what if a fire happens? To like, what if you need to go to the bathroom really bad? What if you get really hungry? Like, I just think of everything, like, on why you might want to leave and why you can't leave because you're, strapped into this ride. So it sucks because I would really like to try a lot of rides that I can't because I just can't enjoy them. The only thing I really can enjoy is water rides, and that's kind of like my thing. Like, I love water parks, and I definitely want to go to Wisconsin Dells sometime since they're the water park capital of America, because water parks are my thing. I love water parks, and luckily they don't strap you into anything. I still haven't tried one of those drop capsules. A little bit afraid of that. I do want to try one. We actually have one at our park, but that's the only thing that's really holding me back. And that is, I think, the biggest thing on why I want to get over this fear is because when I realized I can't ride a roller coaster, I realized I have a problem, because a roller coaster is just not something I think that most people would be claustrophobic over. There are people that are. I've read on the internet, there are people that have the same fear as me and don't want to ride roller coasters because, it feels too tight. But I don't know. I just don't think it's very common. In fact, I can look at people when they're riding a roller coaster, and I can tell they're not worried about the fact that they can't get off it. In fact, if they couldn't get off it, they'd probably be like, yay, we get to go again. Not me. Let me off. Like, I'm done. We did it once. Cool. I need to go because I have to feel the freedom of movement. So that's like the biggest thing for me. Also, with like the pool thing, I said I don't like to be dunked, and that fear still empowers me today. If I go swimming with a group of people, you will not see me near the group of people. Even with my boyfriend, like, I think he kind of like was able to tell that when we went to Florida and we were at the beach, and I wouldn't swim near him in the ocean, and I think he was kind of like, why? And I did actually tell him, well, because people used to dunk me as a kid, and like, I'm just afraid you'll dunk me, even though like I know you love me and I know you would never hurt me. I don't know, man, that fear is just still embedded in me, and I can't seem to get rid of it. I guess the thing though on why I wanted to do the commentary is because it seems like this just happened all of a sudden. I felt like I actually got, maybe not over these fears, but suppressed them and was able to do normal daily activities. But for some reason now it doesn't seem like that. So let me know what you guys think, if you guys have any suggestions on how to get over this, and maybe what you guys are scared of, or how you got over it, or if, you know, maybe like an anti-anxiety medicine has helped you, or if you know it's helped maybe a friend or something, because that's something I'm kind of considering right now. But yeah, hope you guys don't think I'm a total weirdo now, but thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you guys later.